It will fly by. Okay, so let's begin. Find a comfortable seated position. If you really want to start lying down, it's fine. We will move straight into the breath work. So it will be just a little bit less disruptive if you start seated. Close your eyes and begin tuning your attention inwards. I'll mute you for the duration of the practice, and then we can close this space together at the end. So feel your body just as it is. Notice if there's any immediate response from trying to find some stillness, or if by allowing your attention to settle on your inner experience, if you notice anything particular. So maybe some tightness in the shoulders, your lower back. Check in with your energy and just generally how you're feeling today. With each inhalation, allow your chest to open, to rise, cultivating a feeling of lightness. Breathing into potential length into the spine. And as you exhale, see if you can feel your body softening, just relaxing, perhaps getting a bit heavier. And feel the connection between your body and the ground. So let go of anything you've been up to today. And give yourself permission to be mindful throughout the practice. So undoubtedly, we all have lots of to-do lists. They never end, and we just keep adding things to them. But now I want you to cultivate this sense of mindfulness throughout the practice, that none of the stuff on your to-do list matters. All that matters is what's happening right now in your body, how your breath feels, how your body is responding to the postures, to the movements. And if you can hear your dog bark, it's okay. If you can hear your neighbors, it's fine. All of the distractions, the sounds, the noises, the thoughts, they will always be there. So quite often people think that meditation is about emptying your mind. You know, if fair enough, if you go on a silent retreat, you know, for 10 days, you get catered for, you don't have to talk to anyone. You probably aren't allowed to, and everything is great. But then how do you apply the principles of meditation and mindfulness to real life, where you have to go to work, where you have to go to deal with people, where you have to pay the bills, you know, the dog is barking and everyone wants something from me? It's fine. Come back to your breath. So staying seated, bring the forefingers on your lower belly, so like on top of your hip bone. And keeping your eyes closed, breathe into that space. So allowing your belly to expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly button closer to your spine. You can start using the Ujjayi breath. So it's when you make a sound as you breathe in and out by contracting the muscles at the back of the throat. So as though you wanted to steam up glasses or a mirror. So it's like this. So Ujjayi is the type of breath that can help you stay grounded. It gently warms up your deep core muscles and just help you stay focused. And then shift your hands to your side ribs. So lifting the elbows quite high. And as you breathe in, widen your chest. So you want to breathe into your hands here. So keeping your eyes closed, notice what else you can feel, how this type of breathing makes you feel. And then bring the hands sort of in this diamond shape. You can take a look if you want to, but bring it behind you. So at the bottom of your rib cage, just at your back. And then as you breathe, push the back of your lungs into your hands. Keeping the posture straight. Finding the three-dimensional aspect of your breath. The ability of your rib cage to expand in all directions. And then release your hands back to your knees or in your lap and use the same principle. So breathe into your belly, into the side ribs and into the back of your heart. So like a balloon blowing into your lungs, expanding in all directions, feeling the power of your breath. Just 3 more rounds like this. And then relax your breathing, allow it to flow as it wants to without controlling it or changing anything about it. And then open your eyes and shift so you're sitting on your heels. Extend the arms in front of you, bring the palms together. So we're going to do a bit of swimming action to warm up the shoulders and awaken the thoracic spine, so the midsection of your back. So bring the right hand to your right shoulder, extend it behind you, look towards the hand, and then big sweeping motion to bring it back together. And then left hand, bring it forward. Right hand behind, look, and then trace the hand. So the hand stays in line with the shoulder and just keep switching. Notice how it feels, what muscles are engaging, what's happening in the spine. And then start doing it a little bit faster. So you want to feel something in the shoulders. Keep the core gently active, so stabilizing the posture. And feel your breath. So you don't have to control it, just that you notice the rhythm. If your arms fatigue, it's fine. Just breathe through it. Just a few more times. So try to bring the hand back, and it's like you've got a bow and you're pulling an arrow, and then a sweeping motion to come back. Just a couple more times, so one on each side. And then release. So give them a little shake, transition over onto your back. Knees towards your chest and cup them with your hands. So draw circles out. So one knee goes clockwise, the other one anti-clockwise. You can bring the inner edges of the feet together and just bring some energy, some movement into your pelvis. And then switch direction. So just warming up and feeling what's happening, how the body's doing today. Okay. Bring the left foot down, right foot up towards the ceiling, and then you can hug either the big toe or clasp the outer edge of the right foot for half happy baby. So we aim to stack the ankle over the knee and just feel what's going on. If it feels good, you can extend through the left leg. Keep it firm, so press down through the left heel and try to keep the right shoulder relaxed. Draw your lower belly in and allow the right hip to open. And then we switch. So start with the right leg bent, so you can gauge what's going on. Remember, each side may feel a lot different. So grab hold of the left foot wherever you can, or even the back of the thigh. Make it a bit more accessible. And again, spend a breath or two here, keeping the right hand on the right hip, just to remind you to stay grounded through the pelvis. You can start using your Ujjayi breath just as a reminder to stay focused on your breath, because you can use your breath to monitor the situation. And then gently release, stay in constructive rest pose for a moment, knees knock in towards each other, and breathe. Then draw your right knee towards your chest and extend through the left leg. So just give it a nice squeeze. So deep hip flexion. Notice how your body is responding. And then extend the leg all the way out. So you can point the foot or flex it, see what feels better, and you can hug the back of the leg. So remember to use the strength of your core to bring the leg in rather than just pulling it in. The hands work kind of, the function is supportive rather than, being primary driving force behind it. And then gentle pulses. So allow this movement to be initiated from your hips. And even if not a lot is happening, you're still building muscle memory in this region. Okay, and then gently bend and swap. So left knee in, extend the right leg. Just give it a nice big squeeze. So press it against the bottom of your rib cage if it's available. And then straighten the leg. So first of all, maybe see if you can do it just with the strength, and then you can support it with your hands. Right leg is active, shoulders are relaxed, and then gentle pulses. So still holding onto the leg, just trying to find tiny movement to increase the range of motions. And especially if you find it challenging, keep breathing deeply to communicate to your body that everything's okay and there's no rush. It can take as much time as it needs to lengthen, open, and relax. Okay, then gently release, bend, and then whichever way you like, come up into a seated position with your legs extended. You know, we always do strengthening. So we're going to do the leg lifts. Super useful for building the strength in your hip flexors. So that's the bit that's usually weak. And then there's a lot of back pain that stems from it. So find a V shape. Turn towards your right leg, stay on the fingertips, and then tilt your pelvis back. So you want to find a posterior tilt so you can actually engage the deep core muscles and your hip flexors, because otherwise it's, you know, it's not impossible, but it's really hard. But we want to use our body, not work against it. Fingertips down, and then inhale up, exhale down. I know you've been all waiting for it. Breathe in up, exhale down. 3 more times. Inhale, keep breathing, exhale. 2 more, up and down, keep squeezing your belly, up and down. I think we need to do 1 more because I've lost count. So lift it up and hold it for 3, 2, 1, and release. So give your leg a little rub. I know this one is always painful, but it only gets better if you practice. The other leg. So find a length through the spine, gently tilt your pelvis back, squeeze your belly, and then lift the leg up. Bring it down. 4 more times. Inhale, exhale, up and down. 2 more. Notice how it feels on this side. Is it easier? Is it harder? 1 more time. Lift it. 3, 2, 1. And release. Using your hands manually, lift the legs up and bring them together. I'm going to transition into frog or tadpole. So if you know that your hips are quite tight or your inner thighs, then you might want to start with big toes to touch, knees as wide as you can, and just come into wide-legged child's pose. So if you feel something happening in the groin and the inner thighs, then this is where you want to be. If you're feeling adventurous or you know what we're doing, then you bring the foot so it's flexed, and then the shin and the thigh are at a 90-degree angle. And essentially you want to widen through the legs. So like preparing for box splits. Stay on your hands and use the strength of your shoulders to help you come here. So this one is always so hard. Just stay with your breath and check in with the feedback your body's giving you. If at any point you want to change your mind to go into tadpole or just normal child's pose, it's perfectly fine. Maybe after a couple of breaths, you're like, okay, maybe I want to give it a go. You come down onto your forearms. Try to keep your hips in line with your knees. So it's like you're sliding yourself back. You will instantly feel it. So 1 deep breath in and out. Just 1 more. Inhale and out. If you're in frog, then walk yourself back up. Shift your weight forward so you can bring the feet to touch, and then transition back with the knees together into child's pose. So drop your head down, arms beside you. Connect to your hips. They're probably talking to you right now. So thank your hips for doing all the things that they do for you. Then inhale, lift yourself back up and slide over onto your belly. So extend your left arm out. So the hand is in line with the shoulder, and you're going to roll over onto your left side. So propping yourself up with the right hand, your head is down so that you can feel a stretch through the front of the shoulder. So go only as far as it feels manageable, like you can still control your breath. If it's easy for anyone, you can bend your right leg and place the foot down. If that's still easy, you can bend the other leg and bring the hips down. And then slowly return to the center, switching sides. So right hand out, check if it's in line, and then slowly begin to roll. See, my left arm is bent, so I'm using it for support. And then check where you want to be. Then slowly return to the center. Hands by your low ribs. Inhale, lift up into cobra. So roll the shoulders back and down. Push the inner edges of your shoulder blades into the back of your rib cage. So that's how you engage the rotator cuff muscles, pushing the chest through. Then exhale, lower down. So we're going to lift up twice more. Inhale, find length through the spine. Shoulders are down. Exhale, return. One more time. Inhale. And this time as you exhale through tabletop, tuck your toes and make your way into down dog. So bend your legs or do anything that you normally do to wake your body up, to feel what's going on. So you can be as fancy or as crazy as you want. And then settle in your down dog. 3 breaths. So inhale, lifting your hips up, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, feel the connection with the ground. Breathing in. And softly out. Draw your belly in. One more round. Inhale. And exhale. Then step your right foot between the hands or give yourself a helping hand if you need to. Drop the left knee down. Low lunge. So you can stay on the fingertips or lift up high, up to you. We're going to move dynamically back and forth just to find openness through the front of the hip and the back of the legs. So sink your hips down and forward and check where you want to be, where you can get into the juicy spots. With the next exhalation, slide your hips back, flexing through the right foot. Again, you can stay on the blocks, stay up high, work with what you've got. Again, if you can't get the leg to straighten, as long as you feel something happening in the back of the leg, it's perfectly fine. It really takes time to find length in the hamstrings. So you can roll the right hip up and down. Just again, find a little movement like we do in downward dog. This position is probably a little bit less accessible, but it still gives you room to explore. And then moving dynamically. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bring it back. One more time. Inhale. Open chest. And exhale, bring it back. Sink your hips low. Inhale, shift forward. Tuck your back toes, plant your hands, and step into plank. Feet together, push the mat away. Protraction of the shoulders, and slide the shoulder blades towards your hip. And then as it's the first one, drop your knees down, shift forward, and lower all the way onto your belly. Hands by your low ribs, feet are flat. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, bring it down twice more. Rise up as you breathe in, elbows by the sides of the body. Exhale, descend. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale either through tabletop or through plank. Make your way into down dog. Settle here. 3 rounds of breath. Bend your legs if you need to lift your sits bones up. It's all about the length in the back. And then step the right foot between the hands and spin on the back foot. So root down through the left heel and bend the right leg. So go as far as the inner lining of the left leg allows you to find a stretch. So you can keep the right heel up or down, left foot flexed or flat, so that you feel an opening through the inner part of the leg. So Skandasana. So drop as low as you feel it's appropriate. Staying on with the hands down gives you that extra bit of security. If you're feeling super adventurous, you know what you're doing, you can bring the hands at your heart. So then as you inhale, lift your hips up and slowly transition to the other side. It may feel a lot different, remember. And just settle for a couple of breaths. Notice what's similar, what's different. Try to keep the spine fairly long. And then we transition back and forth. Remember to breathe. So inhale as you shift to the right. Exhale as you sink. Breathe in, come back to the left. Exhale, settle. So one more round on each side. Inhale and exhale. One more. Breathe in and out. Sorry, we need to come back. We need to do it one more time. So take an inhale and exhale. So spin. So you're on the ball of the left foot, framing the front foot, step back into plank. Find your position. You can stay on the knees, squeeze your core. And then as you exhale, the knees up or down, transition all the way down. Inhale into cobra. Open through the heart. Exhale, come down. Twice more. Breathe in. And out. One more time. Roll the shoulders down. And exhale whichever way you like. Meet me in downward dog. So 3 rounds of breath here. Press down strongly through the base of the thumbs and the index fingers. Wrap the shoulder blades around your upper back. And then slowly begin to walk your feet towards your hands. Feeling the connection with the ground, bend your legs as much as you need to. When you reach the top of the mat, fold, clasp the opposite elbow, and then sway from side to side. And just feel the length in the lower back. Allow the upper body to relax. Release the arms, inhale into half lift. Keep the fingertips down or hands on the shins. Really find length through the spine, extending through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold, draw your belly in. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing, sweeping your arms over the head. Look up, long body, and then exhale, hands at heart. Inhale, rise up, extended mountain. Exhaling, folding, hinging at the hips, controlling the descent. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, step into down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. And then as you exhale, shift over into plank and bring the right knee towards the right elbow. If this is too much, you can always drop the left knee down, but find the front body compression to lift the right knee as high as you can. Inhale into three-legged dog. Exhale, come back to plank, right knee to right elbow. Push the mat away. And then one more time. Inhale. And exhale, lift it and hold for 3, 2, 1. Step back into plank and lower all the way down, whichever way you want. Breathing in, cobra. And exhale into down dog. Prepare. Inhale your left leg up. So try to find as much length as you can, pressing evenly through the hands. Exhale, knee to left elbow into plank. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged. Exhale, knee to elbow. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Step back into plank and child's pose or a connecting vinyasa if you wish. Rise up into cobra. And exhale into child's pose, everyone. Take a moment of rest. Use the 3-dimensional breath we practiced at the beginning. Since your knees are together, it might be a bit more challenging to breathe. So that's why it's a perfect opportunity for you to breathe into the side ribs and into the back of your heart. Inhale, lift up. Come into sitting on your heels. Check how your shoulders are doing. And then bring the right hand to the right shoulder, lift it up. And then with the left hand, guide it behind and down. So you can press the back of the head into the hand and stay there if you want to. You can internally rotate the left arm so you can bend it and the hands can clasp. So this way you explore the external rotation in the right shoulder and internal rotation in the left shoulder. One more deep breath in and exhale, slowly release. We're switching sides. If you want to start here and then transition, it's fine. If you know where you're going, go there. Notice if you feel any imbalances in the shoulders. You know, one side is dominant over the other, so it's probably a bit stronger. Try not to force the other one to be the same. Just allow it to be as it is. It's doing its best. I know it's hard to accept it, but it's over the time, over the years of practice, those imbalances seem to even out. I don't think they ever go away fully. And then release. Extend your arms out. And then bring the right arm underneath the left where elbows meet. And then see if you can double wrap your hands so the palms meet. And then lift the elbows up, wrap the shoulder blades around your upper back, but drop the shoulders low. Hands away from your face and notice where you can feel the stretch. And then exhaling, gently release. Open up, extend your arms, and then exhaling the other side, left arm underneath, and then see if the eagle arms feel different on this side. So start slow, begin to drop the shoulders low, lift your elbows up, and then hands away from your face. It might feel like there's a lot more density on one side than the other. It might be just some deep tension. You know, shoulders take a lot of beating when we're stressed. And then slowly release, shake your shoulders out. And last but not least for the shoulders, so open your arms out to a cactus shape. So the elbows are more or less in line with the shoulders. Brace your core and then bring the arms together. So not fully. You want the elbows to still be in line with the shoulders, so you feel the rotator cuff muscles taking part in this. And then inhale, open up. Exhale, bring them close together, but not quite. Especially if you find it easy, you just want to feel the engagement in the upper back. Then inhale, extend. Oh, I can feel it already. Exhale, squeeze. Just hold it here for 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, come down onto your back. I'm going to start with legs straight. So right leg extended, left leg down, or if you feel you've got the juice, you can keep the left leg hovering above the mat. So both legs are straight, press the lower back into the mat, and you can hug the back of the leg to bring it slightly closer. Notice how that feels. And if you want to, lift the shoulder blades off the mat. So we've got some front body compression, and then switch the legs. As you exhale, squeeze. And switch. Switch. Keep the legs as straight as you can. Switch. 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 One more time on each side. Switch. And switch. Bring both knees in. Release the shoulder blades down. Relax the back of your head. Allow the knees to stay where they are. Gently press your hands into the back of your head and bring the elbows close together. So you don't want to interlace the fingers because then there's a little bit too much pressure there. So it's just to guide it, let's say. So then inhale, lift the shoulder blades up and squeeze the elbows as close to the knees and knees into your chest. For 3, 2, 1, and release. You can bring the feet down, rest for a moment. So if you found this challenging in any way, you're going to do it again. If you want to turn it up a notch, then you're going to bring the knees in, draw your lower belly in. So that's the Uddiyana Bandha, just keeping the navel close to the spine. And then extend the legs up. Squeeze the legs together. Hold it here for a moment. And then lift your shoulder blades and elbows as close to the knees. Use the core strength to bring the legs close. And hold it here for 5. Keep breathing. 4. Squeeze. 3. 2. Just a little bit longer. 1. And release. Bend the legs. Release. Bring the arms wherever. You can windshield the legs, so feet as wide as the mat, and just drop them from side to side, noticing how your legs feel, the pelvis, the groin. Come back to the center, and then roll yourself up, and come up to standing. Oh, I forgot the transmitter. I'm going to sink down into Malasana. So if you have a block handy and you know that your hips don't feel particularly good and such a deep hip flexion, feel free to sit on it. You can use a cushion, anything you've got. So feet slightly out, maybe for 45 degrees out, a bit wider than your hips, like shoulder width apart. And you begin to sink your hips low. So as low as you can, and adjust. You don't have to land perfectly the first time round. Just see where that sweet spot is that you can kind of, breathe and everything's okay, but you're still challenged. Keep your lower belly in. So you're using the pelvic cavity to access that deep hip flexion. So again, if you need to sit on anything, sit. And then bring the hands at your heart and press the elbows into the knees and the knees in. So we find an eccentric contraction in the inner thigh muscles, like sartorius. So strengthening them in this way. So keep breathing, try to keep your spine long. Remember that everything's okay. Deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Let's do it one more. Inhale fully into the back of your heart. And sigh out, letting go of any tension, frustration, anything that's holding you down. Then release the hand and slowly shift yourself back up. So stay in a forward fold with your legs as wide as the hips or even wider. Then bring the left hand in front of you, so in the center, and bend your left leg. So right leg is straight, left leg is bent, and the right hand goes on the back of your hips. So squeeze your belly and begin to peel the right shoulder away, so as though you wanted to stack the shoulders. If this feels okay, you may want to extend the right arm and look towards it. If you feel like your hips and legs are open, you can keep both legs straight. And then slowly return, bringing the right hand down, switching sides. So this time, right leg is bent. Squeeze your belly and notice what's going on. Left hand on the back of the hip and begin to externally open through the chest. If you want to, right, left arm straight. Look towards it. If it's too much for the neck, just look down. Explore maybe with straightening both legs. And then slowly return. Clasp the opposite elbows. Again, sway from side to side. Sashay your hips. Release your hands down. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, roll all the way up, sweeping your arms over the head. Exhale, hands at heart. Stand so you're facing the long edge of your mat with your feet wide apart. So don't go to your maximum, go to where you can still feel engagement in the outer ankles. So that's the muscles that stabilize your ankle joint. And you can still feel that you pulling legs in together with the muscles in the thighs. But as we're coming into a fold, the wider you go, the safer you will feel because the floor will be closer. So you kind of need to negotiate. Hands on your hips or extended. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly begin to fold. So with control, can bring the hands down whenever you want to. And notice how that feels. So allow yourself to settle for a moment. If you feel like you want to go slightly deeper, you can bring the fingertips in line with your toes and draw the top of your head down. Keep pressing down through the feet. Breathe into the side of your body, the back of your heart. Then inhale, straighten the arms, long spine. Exhale here. Hands on your hips, and with the strength of your back and your core, inhale, lift yourself all the way up. So shorten the stance slightly, and we're going to come into a fold again. So breathe in, wavelength through the spine, and as you exhale, slowly come down, use the hands for support. Then bring the left hand in the center, so in front of your legs, not in line, and then extend through the right arm up. If this is too much for the shoulders, just keep on the back of the hip. Try to keep the hips square for now. Now you can deepen this posture by using the left hand to grab hold of the right ankle, and you can allow the hips to sway. Look towards the right hand, keep pressing down through the feet, and we come back to the center. So starting with the hips parallel to the mat, press your right hand down and inhale your left arm up. Readjust the position of your hips so that they're square. And now if you wish to deepen, they can be skewed. Reach for the left ankle. Look towards the left hand. Notice what's present. Notice how your body's responding. And then return to the center. Spin so you're framing the front leg, bend it, and then walk the right foot out towards the edge of the mat. So you can stay with the left knee lifted or down. See which version allows you to stay in the pose, to explore it. So I find that I can go a bit deeper if I bring my knee down, but this is a more active version. So you can shift forward and back just as an exploration. So wherever you want to go, you can even come down onto your forearms, squeezing the right knee towards the shoulder. And then inhale, come back, tuck your back toes, step into plank. Hold it here for a moment and either move back into down dog or do a vinyasa with me. You know how it goes now. We all make our way into downward dog. So then step the left foot outside of the left hand, whichever way you can. And we're exploring lizard on this side. So maybe you want to start with the right knee lifted for a few shifts forward and back. Maybe you just stay up, because lizard is a killer. It's a really deep hip opener. If you like hip openers, like you, Sonia, you're probably loving it right now. But there are times that even the more avid hip opener lovers don't particularly enjoy it. Descend to your forearms if that's where you wish to go. Remember, no force, no struggle. And then when you're ready, walk yourself back up and then step into plank or down dog. Do a vinyasa. And we meet in down dog. Step your right foot towards your hands and spin so you're facing the long edge of the mat. So from here, you will need to have a deep squat kind of fold. So if you've never done Bird of Paradise, you want to watch first, then feel free to do that. We're going to do it twice together. So the way I like to approach this pose is to first of all check how my shoulder is doing in the bind. So by starting in a deep squat, I drop my right shoulder down. So this is where you might need a strap. So the lower you drop it towards the back of the leg, the back of the thigh, the easier it will be. Then wrap, bring the arm behind, so underneath and behind, and then wrap it around the thigh. It might not be accessible, that's why you can have a strap like here, and this might be where you want to work. This is where you stay. If, however, you can grab hold of the hands, then maybe you begin to straighten the legs. And then if you're like, okay, I can do this, then lift your right heel, shift the weight onto the left foot. And this is where you activate your core and lift up. This is a pose that remained inaccessible for me for a number of years. So don't worry if you can't do it right now. I still can't straighten my leg as much as, I've seen other people do. But it doesn't matter. When you're ready, wherever you are, slowly bring the foot down, release your hands, and then bring yourself up. So it's a really deep hip opener. It's a balance. Requires shoulder openness. So the whole shebang. So let's try it on the other side. So find the stance you need to be able to drop low. Because, some people can do it from having the feet quite narrow. I need to go like proper deep. And then you can lift the left heel off the mat to create a bit more space. And maybe this side feels less open, more open. That's why you have a strap, and it's just an exploration. So see how it feels if you just guide the arm underneath, how it feels in the hips, because maybe that deep hip flexion doesn't make you feel good today. If you want to wrap the arm behind and reaching the right arm, grab hold of the hands and then explore. Maybe find some little movement, or shift the way onto the right foot, and maybe you just work on lifting the foot off the mat. This is still great. It's all great. If you feel like you've got it, maybe you come to stand, and this is great. If you keep the legs straight, it's great. Go where you want to go, where you can go. And if you need to come out, try to do it as gently, because the shoulder joint is inherently unstable. But when you fall out of it, then there's little you can do. So just try to move mindfully. All right, so shake your arms and legs out. You can really feel it all everywhere in my body right now. So calm down. Constructive rest pose. Allow the weight of your body to be received by the mat. Feel your heartbeat. And forgive yourself if you judged yourself in any way. It's only natural. That's how our minds work, to place value and say whether our efforts were adequate or not. But the magic is that you keep showing up and you keep practicing, regardless of how well or not so well you did. And then cross your right leg over the left. And then drop the legs to the right. So it's the other way that we normally do a twist. So you should feel some stretch through the outside of the right hip and the front, maybe the QL. So the lower back. And bring the legs to the center. And this time we come into the normal spinal twist. So dropping the legs to the left, maybe extend through the right arm. Relax through the legs and focus where you can feel the stretch. Allowing the hips, the pelvis, and the lower back to settle and neutralize. And inhale, slowly return to the middle and switch the cross of the legs. So keep squeezing the legs together. And first of all, drop the legs to the left. So they might not go all the way. Just focus on the sensations in your deep hips, in the pelvis, your core. See if you can expand this area and send the breath to your hips. Then breathing in, come to the center and allow the legs to drop the other way. So letting go of any muscular engagement, allowing gravity to take care of the stretch, so any opening happens organically. Breathe in, come back, uncross your legs. Allow the feet to fall away from each other. Roll the shoulders back, slide the shoulder blades underneath the upper back and keep your palms up. If you've got eye pillows or blankets, if you want to make yourself comfy for Shavasana, then go for it. You want to be as indulgent. You want this active rest pose to be, even luxurious. Because how often do we fake rest? So, just monging out on the sofa, just flicking through the phone. I'm only saying it because I'm guilty of that. But Shavasana really gives you to absorb the energy. So the convergence point is directed, where the energy is directed inwards. It's like you can recharge your batteries in an active way. Take a deep breath in, feel the expansion through the pelvis, the side ribs, your chest, your collarbones, even the back of your heart pressing into the mat. And exhale with a sigh. One more. Inhale deeply. And exhale, let go of the practice, any residue of tension, anything that you need to let go. So give yourself permission to do that. And soften your forehead, your temples, your jaw. Allow the tongue to fall away from your teeth. As you breathe in, feel an opening being created in the throat, in the heart space. And as you exhale, feel whole, feel you reunited. Just feel the connection between your body, the mind, and your breath. Start taking deeper and more conscious breaths in. And invite some gentle movement into the body. Roll over onto one side and spend a breath there. Notice how your body feels, check in with your energy levels. And without placing quality or any value to it. Just simply recognize what is. And when you're ready, come back into a comfortable seat. If you want to unmute yourself, I invite you to do that now. Gotcha. And then bring the hands at your heart. Feel your heart space. So maybe you can feel the breath and gentle expansion and softening of your chest. And thank yourself for showing up. Thank your body for the wonderful things it's done today, all the great things that it will be able to do tomorrow. And allow yourself to feel gratitude however it reveals itself. Maybe it's a gentle smile on your face or just a sense of peace. So allow yourself to feel just that, and then gently bow your head. Let's close this practice with one round of Om. So we will Om on an exhale. Take a deep breath in. Softly open your eyes. Thank you very much for your practice with me today. Namaste. I hope that you're feeling strong and open, and that this practice allowed you to explore some areas which you haven't perhaps taken interest in. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. You know, you can always send me an email. But I hope you enjoyed it. That was the final, the culminating practice of this month's theme. So I hope that it lived up to your expectations and it was challenging enough. Because I don't know if you noticed that we start like quite easy, you know, fairly easily at the beginning of the month, where we then we dive deeper as the month progresses. So this is basically what you can expect every month. So, have you got any questions? Am I the only one that likes lizard pose? I like lizard pose, but I remember that it wasn't always the case. It challenged me in a good way, but it's a really, really tricky one. It's the same with pigeon. It's a really intense pose. So if you're holding on to something emotionally, or if you're frustrated and your psoas are tight, because psoas are responsible for the fight or flight response, so then you might feel it a lot when you try to do any hip openers. So I guess maybe that was the limitation for me. But like I said, it challenged me in a good way, and I really like hip openers now. So you're not alone, and I'm sure that there are more people that like hip openers, but I know that you particularly like hip openers. That's why I mentioned you. Right, Sonia, you know, it's not all about the length. It's not about the stretching. You know, you need to find strength, because then to really explore the dynamic flexibility, you need that element of strength. So really, strength and flexibility are kind of two sides of the same coin. So if you don't believe me, it's okay. We will be exploring that dimension. Let's put it this way. So I'll send you this practice if you fancy visiting the Bird of Paradise. You know, it's always there with open arms and hips, ready for you to take a journey. And you know what it's like. The more you practice, the more you feel how your body is changing. It's adapting. It's you building that strength and dynamic flexibility in turn. So you can do all, you know, so you can do yoga, for example, just focusing on strength, but without the flexibility, you won't be able to do poses like this one, for example, so Bird of Paradise. And the same the other way around. If you just focus on flexibility, you won't have enough strength to lift up to certain poses. So really that's the beauty of yoga, that it like encompasses like the whole body aspect of anything, that you can't just do one without the other. So I guess it brings the duality of things together. Okay.
I often find all the ones I don't like are the ones that my body actually wants to do, which I should be doing.
Oh, I can totally relate. So I always struggled with dolphin. Remember, Laura, you like dolphin? Or it was just ironic that you said it once. It's because my rotator cuff muscles are weaker compared to like my deltoids, for example, or my biceps. So that's why I struggle with keeping my arms parallel and, you know, finding strength. So protraction in the shoulders. So I know that this is what I need to do more of. But like, you know, with hips, it's tricky because I think that everyone should do more hip work, because we store a lot of tension in the hips. So, you know, just it would be nicer if everyone was a bit more relaxed. Let's put it this way. Okay. You're very welcome. I'll send you the practice. See you on Thursday and maybe next week. Mwah. Take care.